glad you're here. Do you know what you just walked into? No. This is the Frontier Tower, a 16-story building, downtown SF, for frontier tech pioneers, people like us, to just have as a home, a third space. It's really a vertical village. Anything that you can find in a small town, you will be able to find in this tower. We're just getting started, and we have a pop-up village going on right now for 6 weeks. It's about 3 weeks left. We're in the middle of the AI track. This summit is just 2 days, part of this 2-week track, part of this whole 6-week pop-up village. Who here knows what a pop-up village is? Okay, have you heard of Zuzalu? Okay, wow, nice. You guys are not in crypto. That explains it. So Zuzalu was a 2-month pop-up village, the first of its kind in Montenegro 2 years ago, that we brought 200 people for 2 months to explore how would a new city look like. Oh, great. My slides. My slides. So yeah, we actually want to create a whole new city to make death optional. So before we talk about AI, I want to talk about life and health, because without health, eventually you don't have life. And why do we do everything we do? Because we love life, right? Who here loves life? Show me your hand. Both your hands up. Make some noise. All right. Yeah, life is amazing. Also, everyone says health is the most important thing, right? But it's in the abstract. I have been, in a way, lucky to be present to losing my health. Growing up with a rare genetic disease, having a lot of surgeries and spending a lot of time in hospitals across my childhood, I still have all these joint pains. I feel like I'm an elderly person inside. And most people don't think about this because all of you are pretty young, right? And don't really want to think about what's coming. But most people end up like this, and you do not want this when you're older, and you have to think ahead right now. And a lot of you might think, oh, I'm going to be healthy aging, but this is actually not what you want either. What we're building towards is something like this. In the movie In Time with Justin Timberlake, he was presenting his wife, his mother, and his daughter, right? And everyone looked in perfect peak health. This is what we want. This is my vision for the world. And in the 2030s, I want to see treatments that restore youth, just like Ozempic and so on, are solving obesity right now. And this is going to be, of course, bigger than obesity. Drugs that target aging, the aging process itself. And instead of managing symptoms, rather addressing the root cause of all these diseases like Alzheimer's and cancer and heart disease and so on, these are the future of medicine. And AI can be very helpful in that. And luckily, aging has been slowed or reversed in dozens of pharmaceutical interventions in lab animals. So this is possible. There is no such thing as death from natural causes. Every disease, age-related disease, goes up exponentially with age. So you cannot escape it except if you target the root cause. Everyone, of course, would end up frail with sarcopenia, vision loss, bone loss, and so on, unless we do something about this. And worst of all, maybe, economically, it's an inverted pyramid. It's unsustainable. We have more people today over 65 than people under 5. And these kids under 5 are mostly in the developing nations. And they won't be able to sustain, really, us, when we will be old, unless we have transformational, super intelligent something. This is not sustainable, right? If you're still planning your life linearly, I think even within 10 years or so, society is not gonna survive this way. It's gonna collapse, the pension systems and so on. So, first of all, we gotta extend the healthy part of life, right? And as a side effect, we also will live longer. I do wanna see the future. I'm very curious to see what's gonna happen, travel amongst the stars. But first, of course, you need to keep people healthy. It's not about living longer with disease, right? It's being in peak health. And there are promising approaches like the damage repair approach with Aubrey de Grey being spearheading that. You might have heard the biggest seed round ever, $3.2 billion. Altos Labs with Jeff Bezos and so on backing it. David Sinclair. This is kind of the most hype on longevity on this. Tissue replacement is lesser known, but really coming up. There was just a recent announcement from ARPA-H. They have a multi-hundred million, I think $600 million program of sort of moonshot for replacing not just organs, but eventually pieces of your brain and eventually your whole body before we figure out all the details of biology. At least we can replace old with new. And there's other approaches like continuous hormonal rebalancing and so on. And humans coordinate to achieve amazing things. I think we can, with the help of AI and governing with crypto and advancing nanotechnology, biotechnology, all these things, we can stop fucking around, coordinate at a huge level, at an unprecedented level, like putting a man on the moon, and cure aging. And DeSci is decentralized science. It means permissionless execution, publishing, and funding of science. As a founding member of VitaDAO, I know that a decentralized community of 10,000 plus members can coordinate with a token. Anyone can contribute funds, anyone can govern how it goes, one token, one vote, to actually be more scalable than a traditional VC fund or a venture studio and fund that early stage aging research, bring it to a point where it can be spun out into biotech companies and having more innovation, eventually drugs. But it's an online organization. And one of our projects was ready to go into clinical trials and realized it's going to take so long because of overregulation. We have paternalistic, monopolistic system where the regulators at FDA, I know a lot of them, they're smart, good people, they want to do good, but the system they're playing in has the wrong incentives. They don't look at the cost of inaction, the harm done by delaying drugs by decades. Then you have this invisible graveyard of people dying, waiting for medicine. And innovation is bottlenecked, not just in medicine, in many, many things. And I'm fearing also AI is going to be bottlenecked a lot. So the problem is severe overregulation. If we just look at drug development, it costs billions of dollars. 10 days of delay means 500 million deaths that we could have prevented. I see this akin to putting the speed limit at 4 miles an hour. And anyone who says we should move faster is, what, do you want people to die? Well, people would die if the speed limit would be at 4 miles an hour because we couldn't get to the hospital in time. We couldn't get food into cities. People would starve, right? We gotta find that balance, a good level of regulation. We wanna ensure safety, go from a promising therapy with rigorous safety trials directly to a life-saving drug. And we start with this. Why do we start with longevity? Because first, we want to exist, we want to live longer. And then we want to be healthy, and then we can flourish. So there's two options. I admire people using their voice, trying to reform the current system in the US and so on. I'm gonna hedge. I'm gonna go exit and build a new system. This here is a prototype of a new society, but what I really want to do is create a new city. A sandbox where we can have our own laws and regulations and try a different model. And as a big community living somewhere, we have leverage to create our own laws and regulations, to decide our own destiny. So my dream is that we can bring new therapies to market within a few months on the order of $1 million instead of decades and the order of billions of dollars. Huge orders of magnitude improvement. Just treat it as a crisis, like COVID, right? There was Operation Warp Speed. Everyone was like, stop everything. A lot of my friends just dropped their startup and were like, I'm gonna work on COVID testing or so on, right? I think we need this level of coordination in the whole world. Millions of people, over $1 trillion, 1% of GDP, that's at least what we need. And treat this as a crisis, because aging, even just Alzheimer's is a bigger crisis than COVID. But people are used to it, it's like water to the fish. And new cities have been built before to fix a crisis with science. Los Alamos Manhattan Project during the war. But how do you build a new city or a new country? Balaji Srinivasan has this movement of the network state. What about we had a network union, a DAO of people all over the world that can fund territory around the world and build, eventually be recognized as a network state. So we wanted to go one order of magnitude longer than a conference, one order of magnitude more people than a co-living space, and we built Zuzalu in Montenegro. It was really life-changing 2 years ago, and it sparked this movement. We had healthy food and exercising together and so on, living healthy by default. So from online community to new society, by Vitalik Buterin here, you can do a pop-up, but then what? We went to Honduras in a special jurisdiction to build a permanent city for longevity. And that didn't work out, but we're now building Viva City. And meanwhile, we want to have a permanent hub in every major city. So with pop-up cities, we can seed hubs like this, the Frontier Tower. But meanwhile, we talk to governments. We have $2 million bounty for anyone who can make an introduction to a country leader where we end up going with Viva City. And instead of this horizontal village in major cities, it's better to go vertical because there's not that much space, right? So we want to put everything into a vertical space. So we want these to be the healthiest, most productive 3 weeks left of your life. If you want to join, we're in the middle of an AI track. Crypto track is continuing, but we also have parallel tracks on longevity and neurotech and robotics and so on. We have an incubator program, healthy food every day, and so on. Yeah, we can find your co-founders, accelerate your project, co-work. We've previously brought amazing top leaders to hang out with us in these pop-ups. The pricing is $1,900 for the whole duration, $950 for just a single track, but we have scholarships. So anyone who wants to apply, you will get priority. If you have any questions or suggestions, you can ask me right here. Thank you. I'm thinking, I want to do a bit of a discussion here, interactively. So, do we have a mic that we can, actually, it's fine, just shout it out, right? So, first of all, what do you think about longevity? No, let me have you complete this sentence. I want to live long enough to, ... I want to live long enough to...
See the end of war.
See the end of war. I want to live long enough to...
See my children's children.
Hold one at a time. See my... Raise your hand, by the way. See my children's children. Okay? And then? That's it. Okay, great. I want to see my children's children. I actually want to see beyond children.
What comes after children?
More children?
The future. I want to live long enough to...
Travel the stars.
Travel the stars. I want to live long enough to... See the earth return to its pristine state. Okay. I want to see many planets in an amazing pristine state, and man-made objects as well. Alright, so I want to hear some reactions when it comes to longevity. I want to hear some counter arguments. Why we shouldn't live longer.
So don't you think like the law of supply and demand, if you have so much life as supply, you won't value it? Like why would you value if you have endless supply?
Right. You value things that are scarce more. Should we value things that are scarce more? Do we need death for life to be awesome and meaningful? And there will always be the end of something. The end of high school, the end of a friendship, a relationship, the end of Earth, right? So that, I think, can still bring urgency and meaning for every step. Milestones in your project of life. Any other thoughts? Any other thoughts?
I think the people that don't understand that longevity is a good thing have a scarcity mindset.
Oh, the people that don't understand that longevity is a good thing have a scarcity mindset. Yes, I think we can have abundance. It can be available to everyone. And how would the world be better if people would live much longer? How would people take care of the planet if they knew they're going to be around for 500 years or plus? How would we not have that huge drain on the economy with taking care of the elderly, which is not fun for them, not fun for their kids, not fun for society, right? Instead, those elderly can contribute their wisdom, their knowledge, exponentially increasing, right? So how about we reverse aging, and then those people can actually contribute to society. Okay, thank you.